Guys, sometimes I think how bad this channel sucks. And then I see a video from a YouTube channel with 38,000 subscribers, and it was 2021 baseball predictions. And the guy didn't have baseball spelled right. So at least I got that going for me. Um, so I actually just want to talk today. And also, how terrible is this channel? I say in a channel update that I'm going to be releasing videos Monday through Friday. And then the very first Saturday, here I am. Well, the reason for that is last night around the association, we had two, not one, two guys go for 50 points last night. And it's really interesting because the two 50-point games we saw last night couldn't have been any different. So let's start with my Chicago Bulls. Oh, something started playing in my ear. It was this. It was, we're all going to Disney World. And I was like, what? Like, what? I'm trying to look up the Boston Celtics game last night. What? Oh my gosh. Anyway, let's start with the Chicago Bulls. So there's two guys last night, Zach LaVine and if I can pull him up, Jason Tatum, where are you? Oh, Jason Tatum. Just amazing content so far. I know it. All right. Well, the 27 and 26 Boston Celtics and the 22 and 29 Chicago Bulls. That's another thing I want to look at. Okay, so the Bulls made a trade for the Nikola Vucevic, and we talked about it, right? I think they've won 2 games since that trade. I mean, they've really struggled. I don't know what maybe it's that the team's coming together, chemistry issues. Guys got to get comfortable playing with each other. We get all that. Regardless, Nikola Vucevic is averaging almost 25 and 12, or he's averaging 25 and 12. How does that not immediately equate to wins? Makes me kind of question if Billy Donovan, when you have all these young pieces and, oh, yeah, we're rebuilding. Oh, wow, surprise, surprise. We won 40 games or we won 45 games. Yeah, then Billy Donovan's a great coach. But when you start to have a real team, Billy Donovan is a college coach. It's the same reason why I couldn't stand the Fred Hoiberg hire. I don't understand this hire of Billy Donovan. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Let's look at it though. Zach LaVine had 39 points in the first half. So when you have a 50-point game, under almost any circumstance, when you have a 50-point game, that is a story. I mean, that's a real good accomplishment. That's something that Corey Brewer would have been not just another NBA player, because speaking of Billy Donovan, he won 2 national championships with Florida while he was in college. And I don't know, he might have just been another NBA player, but he scored 50 points. So now every time, aside for the Houston Rockets, when he helped bury Chris Paul that one time, when Chris Paul was on the Clippers and the Clippers had one of their playoff collapses, aside from that, what the biggest thing we know Corey Brewer for is probably being the most anonymous dude to ever drop 50 points in an NBA game. Eric Gordon is up there for me, because even though Eric Gordon's had a much better career, I could have never told you that Eric Gordon had it in him to go for 50. But Zach LaVine scored 39 points in the first half, and the Bulls were leading by like a couple points. Let's see. They were up by 8 after the first quarter. So actually, no, they were up by 13 at halftime. The Bulls were outscored 33-18 and then 34-24. So they were outscored by 15 points in the third quarter and then 10 points in the fourth quarter. Lost by 12. And Zach LaVine only had 11 points in the second half. So for scoring 50 points, your team before Nate the Great McMillan took over, Atlanta was really struggling. Atlanta's already fired their head coach this season. Like, the Chicago Bulls are supposed to be in a position where they just made this trade. They have this awesome center to pair with their awesome shooting guard, and let's roll, baby. We got Thad Young Al Farouk Amino, Williams on the wing. I want to know what he's doing this year, because Lauri Markkanen is barely playing. He's coming off the bench now, which is about where he deserves. Pat Williams is a former sports executive. I knew I was going to do this to myself. The reason that I struggle so badly with names is because within my friend group, all we do is make the moment we hear a guy's name, we put a spin on it where it's now some other name. Like Blake Griffin has been Jake Griffin for 5 years in my friend group, and Stephen Curry's been Pith Curry, and Kyrie Irving's been Skyrie Irving, and just all. Those are some of the easier ones to remember, but we come up with just wild names for people, and I can't even remember the Bulls rookie right now. That's how that should show you how disconnected I came with this team. Yeah, the trade has me excited, but I've still yet to watch a game, and it's because of stuff like this. Oh, sorry, Patrick Williams. I was right. Okay, Patrick Williams. He's averaging almost 10 points a game. But yeah, you have Thad Young and Pat Williams, Al Farouk Amino on the wing. The real glaring spot for this team is the point guard. Tomas Satoransky played 33 minutes last night. He finished 0 for 6 from the field with 2 turnovers. Now, he did have 10 assists and 2 steals. Let's not take anything away from the guy. But he had 0 points and 2 turnovers. When you have more turnovers than points, that's not a good look. The 10 assists shows me that he's definitely helping run. He's helping run the offense. There's no doubt about that. But I'd imagine about any guy in the league with that amount of talent surrounding you, Young and Williams on the wing, Vucevic and LaVine, unless you're Kyrie Irving, just about any point guard in the NBA can get 10 assists, especially if they're getting 0 points. Kobe White came off the bench for 11 points, but then he had 4 assists. There's this idea that Kobe White can't run the show, but Tomas Satoransky, 0 points. You can't start in the NBA and score 0 points. But Kobe White came off the bench for 29 minutes, and Markkanen only came off the bench for 27 minutes, and he scored 5 points. He was negative 12. Kobe White was negative 15. But yeah, Zach LaVine, negative 3. Like, cool. You scored 50 points, and you were still outscored when you were on the floor. How does that even make sense? How is that even possible? Oh, my God. 18 for 31. And then he started out something like 15 of 22, 7 of 10 from 3, and he ended up 18 of 31, 7 of 12. So maybe the Bulls were like, hey, we're winning this game by a decent margin, but it's been on the back of Zach LaVine. So let's just see if Zach LaVine can get it done. And he didn't. He scored 11 points in the second half. He really struggled, and the Hawks just ran away with it. Not probably the worst 50-point game I've ever seen. Now let's go to a real 50-point game. Jason Tatum, 53 and 10 in a 9-point overtime victory against the Timberwolves. Not going to hold it against him that they went to overtime. I'm not even sure if it took overtime for him to get to 50. But that's how you do it. 53 points, 10 boards, 4 assists. He shot 94% from the free throw line. Let's see. I want to see how many free throws this guy shot. He was 15 of 16 from the free throw line. That's getting it done. I want to know. And ended up winning by 9 in overtime. That's a real 50-point game. That's how you get it done, Jason Tatum. I need a nickname for Jason Tatum. So the Celtics are now, everyone's crying and complaining that the Celtics, oh, there's something wrong. We should fire Brad Stevens. They're 27 and 26. Magus Smart for how long? They're relying on the time code or the time stamp or the grandfather clock, whatever that one guy's name is, Williams. He plays real minutes for him. They traded Daniel Tice. I mean, this team's gone through some stuff this season. Just give it time. Jason Tatum scored you 53 points, having 50-point double-doubles in victories. Yeah, the Timberwolves are the worst team in the NBA. We can't just gloss over the fact that this is the Timberwolves, and why on earth did you give up basically 40 points to the Timberwolves in the first quarter? Why on earth were you down 15 at home to the Minnesota Timberwolves? How does that even happen? So Tatum became the youngest Celtic to drop 50 points. Zach LaVine became the first guy I'm aware of to go for 39 in a first half, score 50 in a game, and lose by double digits. I mean, get it together, Chicago. Get it together. So let's hop around here to the standings. Yeah, I just hate the NBA. I really do. Like, I love the NBA and I hate it at the exact same time. Like Brooklyn, it really bothers me that Kyrie Irving showed up to Brooklyn, showed up to a playoff team and said that they needed more pieces to win. Hey, how about this? How about you learn to pass the ball and stop sucking? I think Kyrie Irving sucks. And I'm probably in a very small camp of people that believe that. But if Kyrie Irving is that good, like the professor should be in the NBA. If we're basing how good of Kyrie Irving is as a player purely on his ability to shoot and handle the rock, okay, well then why is it the professor in the NBA? Kyrie Irving sucks. Straight up, he sucks. You can't tell me any different. Guy averages 5.5 assists, and he's started hundreds of games at the point guard position in the NBA, and he can't muster 6 assists a game. He sucks. Straight up, he sucks. Chicago Bulls are 22 and 29. They are just behind the Pacers. See, and this is what I knew the Knicks were higher up in the standings, but if the Bulls had any chance of making the playoffs this year, they were going to need a team like New York to fall out. Now, of course, Atlanta has just been on a tear. Charlotte is in the fourth. Again, LaMelo Ball. Not that he sucks, but like, why did anyone think that LaMelo Ball going down was going to have any impact on the Charlotte Hornets? Unless he is a rookie Michael Jordan who's scoring almost 30 points a game. If you're a real NBA team, which it's, you can argue if Charlotte Hornets are a real NBA team or not. But if you're a real NBA team, almost under no circumstance should a rookie have that much of a bearing on like your success as a team. Again, if you're not a real franchise like the Cleveland Cavaliers, from the moment LeBron James steps on your team as an 18-year-old rookie, obviously your entire fate is clung to this man or to this kid. But that's not a real NBA franchise. Again, the Charlotte Hornets were going to be A-okay. The first chance I got to watch the Charlotte Hornets this year, I saw very limited LaMelo Ball, and I was actually seeing pretty limited Devontae Graham, someone that was very nice for them last year. Their team just works really well with Bridges. Bridges is better than I thought he was going to be for sure. Gordon Hayward, Scary Terry's out here posterizing Kevin Durant. Like, geez. Let's look at the Charlotte Hornets. They've got to be my surprise team just based on the fact that Look at that. Bridges leads Hornets to win over shorthanded Bucks. They got to be my surprise team just because they finally seem like they've put it together, and losing LaMelo Ball doesn't hurt them at all. It's probably helped them, honestly. Like, yeah, it's awesome that they have this potential star on their team, but like for the rest of these guys, that I can almost guarantee that, like, hey, LaMelo, like let's sort of leave that to the side for at least one more year while the rest of us try and put together a playoff team, because LaMelo will change everything. I mean, he'll more than likely push one or two guys out of town. You just can't have this many guards on one team. Malik Monk, Terry Rozier, LaMelo Ball. He's not even on here. He's not even on here. Where are you? Oh, Devontae Graham. He's averaging 14 points. That's why he's their fifth scorer. Jesus, Devontae Graham. So Terry Rozier is putting up 20 a night. Gordon Hayward's putting up 20 a night. Then Devontae Graham gets you 14. Malik Monk gets you 13. PJ Washington gets you 12. Bridges gets you 10. PJ Washington, I don't even know. Like, he just came out of nowhere last year. Yeah. Round 1, 12th pick overall from Kentucky. Dude, Kentucky basketball has put out some real. That's what we'll end today, because the Charlotte Hornets are basically lucky to have come back the way they have and to have a real team. Because you start drafting those Kentucky Wildcats like they did Malik Monk, and that's a real and PJ Washington. That's a real risk you run, because they have put out some stinkers. And it all goes back to a conversation we've had a bunch on this channel. One of the biggest themes really is the idea of being able to go straight from high school to the NBA. That should be a thing. But also, if these kids are going to go to college, the ones that do go to college, not 3 years, but 2. I think of Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes is a perfect example. Harrison Barnes was on the cover of ESPN The Magazine as a freshman at UNC. Before one and dones were a thing, he was someone that was thought to be, okay, now that there's obviously a rule, he has to go to UNC, but he'll be coming right out. And Harrison Barnes went back for a second season at UNC, and it really helped him. They should absolutely have you do 2. If you should either be able to go straight to the NBA or do 2 years. That way you don't have Julio Okafor running around the NBA. Well, I can't really say he's running, but he's waddling around the NBA. I don't want Harrison Barnes' NBA stats. I love how the internet works unless you're live on stream. Like Harrison Barnes College, and I hit enter because you'd think, well, Harrison Barnes College stats, because I just looked up Harrison Barnes stats. Obviously, it's going to lead me straight to Harrison Barnes College stats. Harrison Barnes College, University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Why? God, I could find that out by just Googling Harrison Barnes. Why would I need to more specifically Google just the college he went to? I could find out what college he went to in a search of Harrison Barnes itself in 3 seconds. So Harrison Barnes averaged 15.5 points a game as a freshman at UNC. He averaged 17 points as a sophomore, and his field goal percentage went up. His 2-point percentage was almost exactly the same, but his 3-point percentage went up. His free throw attempts went up. Like he really, it just gave him, his steals went up. It gave him a year to develop, guys. That's all I'm saying. But then Kentucky is the one school where, like, you know, it's not even an open secret. It's just how they operate. All they do is rely on one and dones. And to varying amounts of success, both for the program, and you can see where it led their program. They were terrible this year. They missed the NCAA tournament because they had all these freshmen, and with a shortened season and no time to prepare ever since COVID, They finally, oh wow, 15 straight years of relying on straight freshmen finally caught up to us. Look at that. So so since 2016, in 5 years, Kentucky basketball has produced one all-star in 5 years. Oh, you would like to hear these NBA draft picks? Okay, Jamal Murray, Sky Labressiere, Tyler Olis, De'Aaron Fox, Malink Monk, Bam Adebayo, who's the only All-Star, Kevin Knox, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jared Vanderbilt, Hamidou Diallo, PJ Washington, Tyler Hero, Keldon Johnson, Tyrese Maxey, Emmanuel Quickley. Now, some of these guys, you're thinking like, hey, man, Tyler Hero, Emmanuel Quickley, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, those are all really nice players. Yeah, think how nice Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would be right now. Let's see. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would be dominating college basketball right now. Like, there's almost not even a need for him to be in the NBA. Why is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the NBA? So he can play on a terrible Oklahoma City team? Why not win 2 national championships and become a decorated college player? That's what kids fail to realize. It is such an opportunity when you can play at that level of college athletics. It'd be different if it was like, okay, you can either go to the NBA or you can play D3. It's like certain things. Christian Laettner didn't have to do a damn thing in the NBA. Christian Laettner was made for his life, partially because he received an education at Duke, but also because while receiving that education at Duke, he became one of the most storied athletes in the history of collegiate athletics. And he never would have had to do anything for the rest of his life. He could have just sat on some sports radio show in North Carolina and just talked sports. Like, that's just, maybe Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just wanted no part of that. He wanted to just be 19 and be a professional. And what did Kentucky even do his 1 year there? Let's see. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is 22 years old. Could easily be in college. Ought to be in college. College career. Oh, wow. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander started the season as a reserve, sitting behind freshman point guard Quade Green. Wow, what happened to Quade Green? See, this is what happens, you guys. He's an American college basketball player for the Washington Huskies. Previously played for Kentucky. Look at that. 5 stars about all the way around, except for 247 rated him a 4-star. Get over yourself, 247. Let's see. He started 13 of the first 14 games before missing 3 straight games due to injury. Moved to the bench after the emergence of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Like, it's just so stupid, Kentucky. Like they don't have like a sophomore or junior or even a senior point guard where it's like, okay, like obviously you can sit behind him. Like, you don't have to be upset about it. No crap, this kid was upset. He was benched for another freshman, and that's why he transferred. He was ruled academically ineligible and could possibly return. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So Quade Green, former 5-star recruit, and he will more than likely never see the NBA. I wish he were getting an education, but if he's ruled academically ineligible, it looks like he's just trying to make a splash at the college level before he turns pro. I'm sure he'll be in the G League or whatever, but enough on Shai Gilgeous. I don't know. How did they end up that year? God, he, along with 4 other freshmen, Hamidou Diallo, Kevin Knox, PJ Washington, for Giannis Antetokounmpo. For every Giannis Antetokounmpo, there's a Hamidou Diallo, which I know I'm butchering. I mean, yeah, that's a talented roster, but they were too young. After playing great basketball in the first 2 rounds against Davidson and Buffalo, the Magic ran out and Kentucky lost to Kansas State. How is it that what? Who wrote this? After the Magic ran out for the upstart 5-star at every position, $10 million coach, Kentucky, the Magic ran out. They beat Davidson and Buffalo. You should beat them by a combined 50 points. You had 4 guys that would be in the NBA in 2 months, and you had those guys on your team. And it was a magical run for them to beat Davidson and Buffalo. Are you shitting me? The Magic ran out when they lost to Kansas State. You should be slaughtering Kansas State if you're Kentucky. The Magic ran out when they lost to Kansas State. There's nothing magical about having. Oh, it makes me want to throw up. They put themselves in that position. It was so magical. All these freshmen, they do that every year. There's nothing magical about that. That's just how it is. That's their program. Jesus. So now every time Kentucky makes it to the Sweet 16, it's a magical run. Get the hell out of here. That's the biggest load of shit I ever heard. This is the most cursing you've ever heard me on this channel, because that is absolute garbage. Golly. That is something else, you guys. So since 2012, which is really what the start of the common one and done era for Kentucky. Anthony Davis, okay. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Terrence Jones, Marcus Teague. Wow, yeah, he was something else. First round pick, terrible. Deron Lamb, Darius Miller, all from 2012. Nerlens Noel, Archie Goodwin. Man, that 29th overall pick back-to-back years. Marcus Teague and Archie Goodwin. Just complete waste. So, yeah. Thank you, Kentucky, for pushing out those excellent late first-round guards in Marcus Teague and Archie Goodwin instead of, letting them get an education. Really, I'm sure. You know what? Let's look it up. I'm sure Archie Goodwin appreciates it now that he's 26 and he plays for the Metropolitans 92. The hell's that? G League or something? No, he plays for the Metropolitans 92 of the LNB Pro A League. Duh. And for sponsorship reasons, the Jeep Elite League, the top tier league in France. Duh. Isn't that what you wanted with your life, Archie Goodwin? To play French basketball? Duh. This just makes me sick. Julius Randle, James Young, Karl Anthony Towns, Willie Cauley-Stein, Trey Lyles, Devin Booker, Andrew Harrison, Dakari Johnson, and we've already Sky Labissiere. What in the world? What is going on with these? It's the late first round picks that are just truly terrible. Congratulations. You can't even throw out Devin Booker. Didn't he come off the bench for that team? Yeah, because they were too busy with the freaking Harrison twins to play Devin Booker. Jesus. I'm pretty sure John Calipari sucks. He just pays his players. But, all right. I've done enough talking for today. I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for joining me for this bonus Saturday morning stew chat fireside where we reviewed Zach LaVine's worst 50-point game in the history of 50-point burgers. We reviewed Jason Tatum getting an actually good 50 points and his team actually winning. And then we talked about random crap like guys should just stay in school. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander making it to the Sweet 16 against Buffalo and Davidson and losing to Kansas State is not magical. Purely and simply, it's not Magic. You have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys on Monday.